name's Plaisted, and I'm here to teach you how to approach drumming and how to play the 4 basic types of strokes. The materials you'll need to learn how to play the 4 basic types of drumming strokes are a pair of good drumsticks, a drum pad or a drum, a metronome, a video camera, and a mind open to some new information. Now, if you're someone who's watching this video who has absolutely no clue about anything that has to do with drumming, I'm here to teach you some of that background information, so here we go. What's a drum stroke? A drum stroke is the movement that produces the sound of a drumstick or mallet hitting a surface, like this. How do I hold a drumstick? On most brands of drumsticks, there will be a logo on the back third of your drumstick. In this case, it's the Vic Firth flag. Here's where you put your thumbs to create your fulcrum of your grip. What's your fulcrum? The fulcrum is where the stick pivots in your hand. Here, it's created by placing my thumb and my index finger perpendicular to each other, or at a 90-degree angle, to get that pivot motion. And contrary to what many people think, the sounds of drumming aren't created by brute force. They're created by velocity or speed, in which the stick pivots from that fulcrum and comes down and strikes your surface. But the more force you use, the less velocity you generate, which is what we're actually after here. Now, if you're generating force here using all the muscles in your arm, they become really tense. The key to drumming is to stay relaxed. Now, remember how I told you what happens when you generate the force of a stroke from your arm? Here's a tip. To get the correct velocity, the stroke should be started with wrist turn, not arm motion. To know that you're turning the wrist effectively, you should see a straight line path of travel with your drumstick. To do this, you should be focused on the bead, or the tip of the stick, turning first and leading that path. Now here's where your video camera or your mirror come into play. You should really be looking at these from all angles to keep yourself honest and to know that you're performing these motions correctly. Now, it may look completely correct to you, but to other people, it may look totally different. Alright, now I can guarantee that drumming from just your 90-degree fulcrum looks pretty silly. Your remaining 3 fingers should drape around the stick and make contact with it at all times. Now, your remaining 3 fingers that aren't that primary fulcrum that we talked about should act as a cradle or shock absorbers for those strokes. It should also work as extra leverage. Now onto the actual mechanics of drumming. Now, using the grip that we defined earlier, you should be able to rotate your wrist back and quickly rotate your wrist downward and almost throw the bead of your stick into your surface. Now, the stick should want to rebound or bounce naturally. If it doesn't, I recommend going back, playing the video over, going over anything you may have missed. It might just be a tension thing, but I definitely recommend progressing onto this video after you've mastered that rebound motion. Here's a quick analogy for how your hand should feel when you perform this motion. It should kind of feel like how your hand feels when you're dribbling a basketball. It's that bouncing rebound motion, very loose, wrist turn, and just weight coming down on the stick. Now, applying this back to the analogy, if you use too much arm, you're either going to overcompensate and not be ready for that rebound, and it's just going to fly out of your hand, or you'll tighten down on the stick. Now on to the 4 basic strokes of drumming. When you start with your stick at full vertical, or full extension as I like to call it, you drop it down and let it rebound right back to where it started. That's called a full stroke. This motion should feel full. In music terms, this is called a legato stroke. And legato means smooth and connected, which is exactly how this should feel in your hands. Now, the next stroke we're going to learn is called the downstroke. Like the legato stroke, it starts up, but instead of ending up where the other one did, it's going to stop down after you hit your surface, like this. To get the stick to stop down with the appropriate mechanics, you really need to engage those back fingers because their job is to absorb that shock. Now, the third of the 4 strokes that we're going to learn is called a tap. Kind of goes like this. Now, the tap is the most similar to the full stroke in the sense that it starts and ends in the same place, and it rebounds right to where it went. The main difference, though, is that it never travels to upright vertical like the full stroke. The tap is typically defined as the bead of the stick being 3 inches above the surface that you're striking. Lastly, we have the upstroke. Now, the upstroke begins at that 3-inch height like the tap, but it requires a bit more energy because the job of the upstroke is to get that stick back to full vertical. Now, an upstroke in context serves the purpose of rebounding your stick back up to full vertical so that you can play strokes like full or down in succession. And there you have it, 4 basic types of drum strokes and the correct grip that you need. Full, down, tap, up. Alright, now let's recap. So we gathered all our materials, we learned how to define the grip that we're going to use. We learned about the mechanics of drumming and how it should feel in your hands. And then we learned about the 4 types of strokes. Full, down, tap, up. Awesome! Now you can combine any of these concepts and learn how to play some really cool licks and really awesome music.